independence in marketing means so many things to so many different people. We're fortunate at Oyo to be working with an organization that understands that marketing is a function that needs to be given its head, while making us very, very aware of what the business needs are and helping us understand business, technology, and indeed our goals very, very clearly. So, in a nutshell, for us, this team, marketing is the freedom to not just double down on what's working for the business. There are a lot of very, very smart people who are very good at doing that, of making what's working already work even harder. I think for us, it's about literally taking the purpose of the organization and the product, which is at the core of it, and seeing how we can take it and completely remold it and reimagine it for a whole new customer segment, and not just open one lever of growth, but open multiple levers of growth and help Oyo expand and grow exponentially. And all of this can sound full of jargon and a lot of angrezi, as I call it, but I like to usually just give an example so that it just sort of makes a little more sense, or I make a little more sense to myself. And one of the examples I'll give is of something we did a while ago, which has also got recognized globally for what we've done, wherein when we came in, we realized that Oyo is in the tech hospitality business. It's a technology company that works within the hospitality business, and that hundreds and thousands of hotel rooms that we are trying to sell now, which is great, right? There's the TAM is great over there, but what can make the TAM even greater or larger or wider is to completely reimagine all of those hotel rooms, because with Oyo and the proliferation of rooms all around us, right? I mean, chances are every one of us who's listening to it has an Oyo next door or nearby anyway, or they've come across an Oyo when they've been driving somewhere or going somewhere, right? It's all around you. And if you see all of those locations, they're not traditional hospitality locations of tourism or even business. Like, it's literally everywhere, this brand. So how can you take a brand that is perceived to be hotel rooms and instead start reimagining it as just spaces around people, which can be used in so many different ways, and then you start looking at the country that we are, and simple research and a look at data will tell you that per house, this is a country which will have anything between 4 to 6 people, right? And throw in a few pets and that expands, right? So we started looking at all of these spaces and said, what, you can come over here and you can study. You can come over here when you need to take a meeting, for God's sake, because sometimes it's just so noisy at home. There's a pressure cooker, there's television, your folks are there, kids are there, as I said, pets are there. So we fundamentally take a product, reinterpret it for so many different audiences as a result of this way of thinking. And I think that's the freedom you get when you work with an organization that understands the power of lateral thinking and allows for you to go ahead and do it. So we reimagined this. We unleashed a whole slew of campaigns, which I personally make everyone see whenever I meet them, and I must insist all of you check out the Come to Oyo playlist on the Oyo YouTube channel, and you'll understand what I'm going on about and why I'm so excited about the freedom to be able to do that. And that is for us independence in marketing. We've been fortunate with our background, in agencies and various other organizations and marketing organizations and leaders who we've had the good fortune to work with and learn from. And I'll again take a live or existing example of someone I learned from. And I remember this was, I was working with Honda, right? And I was helping them put out a campaign and launch a car. And I understood from them that they had a philosophy which basically said, don't fear failure, right? It's okay to fail, but it's not okay to not try. You must try something out of the box. You must be okay to fail. If you succeed, celebrate the hell out of it. Go to town with it. I often say marketing needs marketing, and I'll elaborate more about why I'm talking about failure. And I think we should not be afraid to have people in our teams, when we build teams, when we hire for teams, which are completely unlike us or the people who are already there. Just because we don't entirely understand them doesn't mean you can't throw uh, a square peg into a round hole and watch it soar. And I think that's something that we again try to do. We have creative folks, we have brand managers, we have film folks, all of them coexisting alongside our comms team, which I also think is just such an integral part of the whole marketing team. And all of us work completely symbiotically, right? And I think I learn so much from people who are completely unlike me. I can be very straight-jacketed. So for me, it's really important to work with people who are mavericks, right? Or indeed people who are even more straight-jacketed than me and sort of can keep me in line when I go completely nuts. So I think what we learn from Honda as such is what helps us think like that and get the people around us that we have, that it's okay to just put someone into a role that you don't think is like fitting them like a glove. And more often than not, we found these people just achieve such things that you could not have imagined. And I think that's how we're able to at least grow the number of independent thinkers that we have in our team, and not just stick to who we have and how we work. I believe that we learn from everyone that we interact with. And I was discussing something just before this call, with a colleague, and we were just talking about how marketing has the superpower, like with great sports players, right? Marketing has the superpower to make the entire organization um, be very customer centric and think customer first, right? Equally, marketing is like a sponge which learns everything from every aspect of the organization. And as such, it's a super symbiotic relationship with this particular function. That is its strength, right? The only threat that I perceive is that a lot of functions work very scientifically, which is very great for them. But an A/B test can only really tell you what works when it's on the table. An A/B test never gets something out of the box on the table. And sometimes you need to talk to consumers and have the ability to intuitively think out of the box to get something absolutely fresh on the table. As I mentioned, with the independent thinking that allowed for us to reimagine ourselves from and transform from just hotel rooms to spaces. That's a superpower that marketing possesses, and is very happy to share with other functions. But like I said, maybe not every function is built to think like that. And the threat is that sometimes they can think like that and decide to market perhaps a little incorrectly. But as I said, I'd rather people try and fail than people not try at all. And I think I land on the side of marketing just being a function that works with everyone than goes out and becomes a cowboy function that does whatever it wants in whichever way it wants.